2.5 hours of oxygen O2 on there on 15 liters per minute. We have a 1,000 watt inverter in this. It's going to take 28 volts of DC power from the aircraft, and then it'll take and invert that into 115 volts AC power. We have 2 duplex outlet, 115 volt outlets, and you're going to get about 4.3 amps of power on this. It'll basically, what it's going to do is you can plug this, your ventilator, your defibrillator, some other medical equipment, your portable suction pump into this, and recharges the batteries, and also your ARPM. We've got a new system that's coming out that's going to have USB ports plugged into it to be able to do that kind of stuff. We also have, not only with the oxygen, we have 2 air pumps. They're going to be able to pump air when you push the switch here, and you also have a vacuum pump that you can hook up your portable suction, or not your portable suction, but your suction canister up to. We have oxygen, air, and your vacuum outlets right here. With this on the switch, we have an air switch 1, air switch 2, and what that's going to do is that's going to turn on both your air pumps. Most of the time you really don't use air pumps unless you've got some kind of special medical equipment that you're going to use, like maybe an incubator or some kind of special need that you would use that you would use the air pump for. You're then going to have your vacuum switch. That's going to probably be used the most along with your inverter, because you'll have your suction canister right here. You may have it on the front here, or you may have it come off and have something onto the side. It just depends on how you guys are going to have this set up, or you want to set up. Then you have a inverter switch. That switch coming on is going to turn all your electrical power on here, and that's going to give you electrical power to the outlets. But in order to do that though, it has to be turned on up in the cockpit. So Rusty or whoever the pilot crew is going to be, they'll be the ones up there flipping the switch to turn that on. Right here we're going to have the oxygen valve. This is going to tell you how much oxygen is actually in the tank that's underneath here. Underneath here is also where the switch, or not the switch, but the valve to turn the oxygen on and off that's inside of this module here. You've got 2 other switches right here. You've got a panel switch. Right above here you have a little eyebrow light that's going to take and illuminate the lights and the circuit breaker on this module right here. And then you've got an accessory switch that's not used. This module can come with a medical wall that can attach to the back of the module, where you would also have outlets on top there, and you can also hang medical equipment on that, and it'll also have a light. But we don't have enough room for that in this airplane here. Any questions about the module itself? On top here we have the stretcher. This is the 120301 stretcher. It's a 18-inch wide stretcher. It comes with 2.5-inch pads, 5-point seat belts, and then you have 2 lap belts. You may say, oh, we've in the past we've only been able to take and have the patient with the head, being forward and the feet aft. This one here, we can actually do the head aft and feet forward, and that's how we're going to load with this. And with this aircraft, the way that the emergency exit is, we will have to be operating with the head aft.
Only with
because this right here is the stretcher bridge. What we can do is we can take and mount medical equipment on this. We've got poles that you can purchase, and there's also medical mounts for like the Zola defibrillator, the Hamilton T1, and a bunch of other different types of medical equipment that you may have. We may have the medical mount to it. You can mount that medical. This attaches to the side of the module right here, and allows us to be able to connect up our manual patient loader to load and unload the patient. The thing what we've got here is we want to try to reduce the amount of lifting and back injuries for you as the medical crew by doing that. So trying not to have to lift all the time. More of it's going to be sliding. And I know sometimes sliding is you can get back injuries doing that too, but not as much as you are going to be lifting and bending over and trying to do lift that. So what we have here is this loader, and it's going to fit into the brackets right here on the side, and it's adjustable, so we can adjust how far far we're gonna have this. For takeoff and landing, this will have to come off. This does have to come off. But you wanna make sure that you take this off prior to locking the stretcher in. If not, you won't be able to get it up out of these brackets here. So what we'll do is we'll make the adjustments of where we're going to need it, and we'll slide these in and then lock it into place. Then we have a little pin here that's adjustable for the foot height. We've got the a fitting here that's movable for where we're going to line this up to being parallel with, or being perpendicular to where the door is. So we want to basically have this to where the center of the door is. We have a push-pull pin to drop this thing down and to lock it into place, this foot, so when it touches the floor. And we might want to take and get some Sharpie and just like all of that. So that we're gonna put some an index mark on this, so you'll always know where it's at, and there'll be no guessing on trying to get it in the right location.
If I can interrupt, Ricky, most of you that are familiar with the other operator, this portion is replaced. The edge of the bed has the receptacle, so when you put the bridge in, this isn't part of the other operator. So all you'll see is the end. You would hook this right into, and it's already pre-lined up when you mount the bed, when maintenance mounts the bed. We figure out where the exact center of the opening of the doorway is. So this is basically the same, just different.
So what we'll do is we'll take and get this lined up. It'll be the index marked out there, and then you'll just lock it into place, so it doesn't move on you when you're loading the patient up. What we have here is the manual patient loader. It has its own little bag to fit in, and this will be located in the baggage compartment. With this, we have the receiver in. The pin's going to go right into the top of this. The best thing to do is to have 1 or 2 people inside of the cabin when you're loading the patient and unloading the patient, and then 3 people on the outside of it. One person can take and can install this. So what's going to happen is you're going to carry this up into the stairs, and you're going to hook it up here to the receiver. You're going to drop it down, watching your hands, because there's a lot of little pinch points and stuff on there. If you don't kind of keep your hands always on the outside of the patient loader itself, and hanging on to the bottom of this, because if you don't hang on to the bottom, it's going to come down and hit the air stair, and or your shins and legs. This comes down and just sets up in place like that. We have a foot peg right here, 2 locking mechanisms. We have a safety here that is going to catch the stretcher as it would come down and keep from dropping the patient onto the ground. To release that, you'd have to take some pressure off of this by pushing the stretcher back up, releasing it, and you'll be able to slide the patient off. We have